And today we're going to make and print some business cards. Alright, so let's start with actually designing that thing. So I designed many professional business cards before, and most of the times this year is what I was going for. Just having the logo on the front and some information about the person on the back. But for East of Awesome here I wanted something more playful, so I tried here adding some of the motifs that I've used so far different ways, but in the end I thought, why not just put the artwork in the center and make it a little print on its own, a little art piece that I would like to collect. So this is the design that I would like to go with, just having the artwork in the center, having a series of different motifs with time, and only the bare minimum of information. So today I would like to start with the first one, and that's going to be a pirate cat design. So let's draw a pirate cat, I guess. If you want type to fit onto a specific spot, you have two options. You can calculate and be clever, or you can just try and get rid of it and try again until it fits. So I always do the second. This here is the first stamp that I actually made with just the bare East of Awesome logo. I made this for the Memento Mori linocard print, and to add the logo on the bottom, and I use it all the time since then. I decided that I wanted the East of Awesome type on the bottom, or the eastofawesome.com, to be in a black box and be inverted, so the figure on top has some kind of a standing platform visually, I guess. Trying to figure out which material to use. This was what I used for the logo stamp, but it was too small, so the blue one here fits very good. And now I tried the method of just rubbing on the backside with a eraser or another type of rubber, I guess, and seeing if the pencil would transfer, and looks like it, so I just redraw some of the lines a little bit and tried it this time for real. not perfect, but good enough to see where everything has to go, so I just inked on top of that. The three knives that I use, the big U, the small one, and the V-shaped tool here. You can see the types of cuts you can make with them here, and most of the time for the details I use the V-shaped one. This rubber material is softer compared to linoleum, and that makes it kind of easier to cut, but sometimes it is also can make it harder to cut fine details because it is a little bit wobbly, I guess, and if you only want to have a thin line left somewhere, then to get this precisely as you want it can also be tricky. Of course, you don't need to use rubber if you're making a stamp. You can also use linoleum itself, but I don't know how good the stamp ink holds on to it, and I know that it does very well, works very well with this rubber, so I used this. Another option is to use to carve into wood itself. I would like to try this soon sometimes, and perhaps I will be able to compare stamp with different materials on linoleum, on rubber and wood sometimes in the future. Now that all the background is removed, it's finally time to cut out the light spots inside the artwork itself. Later, after finishing the stamp and looking at the final print, I thought that I would like to have either some little lines or some structure in the background, or have it on the figure itself, on the cat. So in the big white spots I carved out here, I have a little bit of a fur texture, something that separates the figure from the background a little bit better. But yeah, that's what's gone, it's gone. if you're cutting it out, and that's a learning for the next stamp, I guess. So since I made the decision of having the type on the bottom in a black box, it's kind of easier to cut, of course, because this way you just have to cut the form of the letter itself and don't have to remove all the material around it, which is a little bit easier to get it the way you want it. But that's not why I did it. This is definitely a pure design decision. Time for the first test print of the stamp. So an exciting moment, especially for the finer details and the fonts, if they will be readable. And I think it turned out pretty good. I'm quite happy with the result. So now it's time to get a grip on this stamp thing. Now I'm cutting the stamp to its final size, so it fits neatly on top of the wood block. If you make a wood backplate to your stamp, then it's a good idea to stamp the wood block itself before you glue it on, because afterwards it's hard, I think. Not that that has ever happened to me, of course. Now I would like to have some kind of a trench on the side to grip it, because you can grip it more easily, and also it looks more like a stamp is supposed to look, I guess. And now it's time for the first proper printing session. I've bought a paper. I think I may be able to put a link to it. It's a thick paper. It says 250 grams per square meter, so it's a good thick cardstock, and it's a yellowish tint, but not too saturated, so I like this paper very much. And for the color I decided to use red because I think it fits very well with the design and the paper, so I like that. I think the red stamp pad that I have here is not the best one, so it's kind of hard to get the color evenly distributed. But this is a project for the future to get a lot of different stamp pads or colors, or I would maybe like to mix or make some colors on my own and try which ones work better or not. So we will see. But that's it for today's print session. I'm looking forward to carving another design soon, and in the meantime, if you like pirate cats, you can head over to eastofawesome.com and buy a pirate cat shirt. Maybe.